Hello, everybody. How's it going? My name is Jared Fuller, aka the Jared Bear. This is the Sunday video update, and I have a piece of hair sticking up off my ear. I can see it right there. Shoot. Hey, Dad. That's gonna drive me nuts. I'll be right back, guys. Um, anyway, welcome to the Sunday video update. Today's date is Sunday, February 9th, 2025. My name is Jared Fuller, aka the Jared Bear. I'm so glad you're here to join me, including the hair on my ear, which I did not know was there until I went live. Hey, Dad, can you do me a favor and grab my clippers out of my room? There's a piece of hair sticking up off my ear. I can see it, and it's driving me nutso. It's going to be a distraction for me. I can shave it off myself. Luna, come on. No, that's my dog. They're on that tote. Yeah, they're on the tote. They're still on the charger. You can take it off. But that's going to drive me crazy seeing that right there. Come on, Luna. My dog doesn't like to listen. Come on, Luna. Yeah. But anyway, while Dad's getting that, there's a lot to talk about this week, actually. So you don't see it on the tote? Oh, they're right next to me. Yeah. Y'all get to see me shave off ear or hair from my ear. Yeah, they were right next to me the whole time. Yeah. There we go. That's better. That's better. Now it's not a distraction. There. So now that we got that out of the way, we're going to talk about the week in review. And if you're new to this channel, I welcome you. What I do is every Sunday at 3 o'clock, I talk about the week in review, and I kind of fill everybody in on how I'm doing and what's going on in my life. And, we joke around and we talk about random things, and sometimes things get heated, sometimes they don't. It just depends on the subject and the topic and the day, I guess. What? Chewing off my toenail, who is a regular in my chat log, left a total of 9 comments. So I'll get to those. Dad is getting ready to head down to my stepdad's because he's got to take some space heaters back, and he's going to go get some water because apparently we still don't have water. All right, got it? Okay. Because we still don't have water. And, it's frustrating when I have to melt snow on the stovetop, and I have to, you know, I have to work around things just to get where I need to be, and it's exhaustive. But it gets done. We do it. So moving along, chewing off my toenail, and this guy every week is just hilarious. He left 9 comments today, so we're gonna get those read, and then I'm gonna talk about my week in review. First comment, he says, "My biscuits are ready, and I'm scooping out butter with my toenail." There's a mouse snacking on a toenail right now. There's a hole in my sock where my toe is poking through, and he just comes right up and starts chewing. Who needs nail clippers when I keep mice around? Let's see. When I go to a restaurant, I'll sneak into their kitchen and empty a bag of my toenails into their chicken noodle soup. Ew. Then I'll add toenail shavings into their fettuccine Alfredo. I'll moisturize my toenails with tartar sauce and use them when I go fishing. God, that is gross. Can you understand the importance of my toenails and pancake batter? No, I can't. And I don't want to find out. I will do a back bend and take a bite of a lemon meringue pie with toenail crust. This guy. And then last but not least, he says, I have to go put some toenails into my clothes dryer. Have a great day. You too, toenail. Have a great day. Thank you for the laughs and the humor. You were saying, Amy? Oh. And then Amy writes, toenail, I love your jokes. Keep them coming. He seems to come in though before the show. I think he's, he just wants to say what he wants to say and he's gone for the day or whatever. But thank you again, chewing off my toenail, for the humor. And tonight at 7 o'clock Eastern time is the Sunday Flashback with my good buddy Dan Richards on 103.9 The Fox. The link to their online, you can listen to the radio station online by following the link in chat. And tonight at 7 o'clock Eastern time. So you have to figure out, which time zone you're in and figure out how many hours behind you are from Eastern time and then, go from there. But yeah, Dan will be live tonight. Today is also Super Bowl Sunday, which I will not be watching. It's not that I don't, it's not bitterness towards Detroit losing. It's just that I'm really not into, like football and all that, Super Bowl and all that stuff. But I do know that the Lions, they lost to Washington, and everybody's upset about that because they didn't make it to the Super Bowl. One year in my lifetime, the Lions will make it to the Super Bowl. And only then might I watch. But it would be out of sheer curiosity as to who wins the Super Bowl. It's not so much the fact that I'm a football fan, but it'd be curious. I'd be curious to know who won that. But tonight, and this year, it is the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Eagles. Let me look up some information here for you. If you are Kansas City Chiefs versus Philadelphia Eagles. Game preview, that's not it. What channel is it on? Fox? Okay, so that would be your local Fox affiliate. Ours would be WSMH, Fox 66. Let's see, kickoff is at 6:30. And it's on the Fox network, I believe. Yeah, WSMH. So it's tonight at 6:30. Again, I'm not really a football fanatic, but if the Lions ever do make it to the Super Bowl one of these years, I would watch out of sheer curiosity just to see who won. That would probably be the only reason why I watch. And of course, if we have snacks, like I'm a foodie kind of a guy. I like veggie trays and chips and dip and things like that. I like to take those little baby carrots and dip them into ranch dressing, and that's good. So my weekend review, let's talk about that. So actually, I don't know how much of this I'm going to put out, but I imagine I'm going to put out quite a bit more than I should. I've been on a winning streak with the Michigan Lottery. Nothing taxable, nothing major, but I've had a bit of a winning streak with this Michigan Lottery game called Cash Pop. And what I do is I play two numbers. Let's see, I play two numbers for $10 a number for one draw, which cost me $20. And the more you wager, the higher the prize amount. So what it is, basically, it's a last number standing situation. There's a pool of numbers from 1 to 15. It'll go through and eliminate all the numbers and leave one number remaining out of the pool of 15. If that remaining number matches your number on your ticket, you win the prize that the computer generates. So in other words, if you have the numbers 5 and 6, You could bet $1, $2, $5, or $10, depending on how much you can afford. Say, for example, you bet $10 on 5 and 6. So you got $10 per number for one draw, which is $20. Say the highest amount is $5,000. Okay. And the computer randomly generates a $5,000 prize under the number 5, and say a $5,000 prize under the number 6. If either of those two numbers are the last number standing out of a pool of 15, because it's only going to pick one number, if that is if the remaining number matches either of those numbers on your ticket, you win the money. A friend of ours, which I think I point out last week or maybe a couple weeks ago, he won $5,000 on Cash Pop, and I'm still thrilled about that. And last week I've had some luck. I've had some pretty good luck. Come here, Luna. Why do you got to go outside now? You got to go out now. You wait until I sit down. Yes, you wait until I sit down to want to be let out. Why do you dogs do this? You do this every time. Why do you do this? Why do you do this? She loves it when I rub the bridge of her nose. She loves that shit. So let me guess. You want me to let you out? 1 second, guys. I'll be right back. Come on. I'm glad you're telling me you got to go out, but you wait until I get sit down. Now see how many times I can be interrupted throughout the remainder of my show. She'll be scratching at the door here in a few minutes, so I'm going to have to get up again to let her in. But back to what I was saying, I've had a little bit of luck with Cash Pop this past week. I was out at the Pine Run Inn, and I won, let's see here, I won a couple hundred out at Pine Run Inn, and I cashed those in. And then, yeah, I've been winning left and right between Walmart, Meijer, and the back 40. I won at the back 40 too. The most I've won so far is $250. I'm not going to give my numbers because those are my numbers. And my dad tried playing my numbers. I think he won. Did he win on my numbers? I don't remember. But anyway, I still have a $25 winning ticket that I have to cash in. I'll probably do that sometime today. So yeah, I've just had a little bit of luck with Cash Pop. It's a good game. I was kind of leery about it at first because it's like, well, this is a joke. I'm not going to win anything. When I was staying at my brother's house in Saginaw last year, I went to the gas station and bought. I played every number for $1 per number, so $15 it cost me because I played one draw, and I think the most I won was 20. But now I don't do that. I've got a system now to where I'll play $20 a ticket, and I'm either going to win a lot or I'm going to lose $20. Now, the least amount that I can win on a $10 wager is 50, and then it goes up to 70, 100, 150, 200, 250, 500, 1,000, and then the biggest of all, $5,000, which is what our buddy won. That's on a $10 wager. On a dollar wager, it goes $5, $7, $10, $15, $20, $25, $50, $100, and $500. $500 is the most you can win on a dollar wager. On a $2 wager, it goes from 10 to 14 to 20 to 30 to 40 to 50 to 100 to 200 to 1,000. On a $5 Cash Pop wager, it goes 25, 35, 50, 75, 100, 125, 250, 500, and 2,500. That's the most you can win, which I think I won $250 on a $5 wager. So that's not bad. And then, of course, on a $10 wager, it goes 50, 70, 100, 150, 200, 250, 500, 1,000, and $5,000. But this is the back of the Cash Pop ticket. with all the prize payouts on the back. So yeah, I've had pretty good luck this past week, and I hope I just didn't jinx myself. But but I might try it again this week just to see if I have any luck with it. I'm not going to give my numbers. There are two numbers that I play continuously, religiously, and yeah. So I'm going to keep playing them, and if I have any luck, I have luck. If not, oh well. You know, Club Keno is hard to win on. For those of you who are from Michigan, and if you play Club Keno, the game has gotten ridiculously difficult to win. I think they're using Club Keno as a game to funnel in the most money every three, because the drawings are every 3.5 minutes, where Cash Pop is every 15 minutes. So you've got 4 games per hour. Club Keno, they've got a drawing every 3.5 minutes. And I think that's where most of the money is being funneled into the state, to the lottery, is through Club Keno. And of course, you got your instant scratch off, you got your daily 3 and 4. Um, there's all these different prize amounts available, and yet no one can get their hands on it. But Club Keno it's gotten really bad. I mean, they're not letting anybody win on Keno at all. So that's why I backed off from Club Keno, and I've seen my 5 numbers come up, which kind of pisses me off, because it's like there's $410 I didn't get my hands on. But when I do play them, the numbers don't come up anyway. So I just say, fuck it. I'll stick to Cash Pop, because that's where most of my luck has been. And I will continue to play Cash Pop and hopefully line my pockets with some more dough. That's all you're going to get, Luna? Okay. But that was a big part of my week last week, was winning a little bit of money here and there, which I thoroughly enjoyed. I shaved my head before I went live today. I told Dad, I said, I know it's 20 degrees outside, but I like my short hair. I like having short hair. So I went back to my short hair, and it's easier to maintain when there's none. So there's Amy, as you can see on camera. Dad usually sticks around and he sits over on the couch. Amy used to sit on the couch next to me, but I guess she's too good for the show now, so she sits out in the kitchen table. She's Miss Unsociable.
Well, sometimes I watch,
No, the thing is, she's talking to her son, and
or I just play games.
she just plays games on the phone, and
I just don't want you getting copyright, so
yeah, and copyright strikes are a big deal. Because I'm not trying to get hit with copyright, although I think I've uploaded some content that the videos have been blocked in some countries because of the copyright, but other than that, I don't have any copyright strikes. Well, you're on camera, so what's that?
see how swelled up that is?
Yeah,
It's all swollen and shit because of my
yeah,
on it.
the tendon. Yeah, it's like, what are you doing? Her foot swollen. That's what she was showing me. Careful, careful.
And that's from not being in my boot.
Look out, Barky. Look out, buddy. Come on, Barkley. Come on. We call him Barky sometimes.
And it's sore as
Sore as fuck.
yes.
You can say fuck. So this week, the plans this week, we have to pay property taxes on Friday. Those are due on Valentine's Day. And yeah, I don't have a Valentine, which is fine. Um,
I always buy for you, so I guess I can be called your Valentine.
well, your dad's Valentine.
I could be both.
Your dad's Valentine.
You're my stepson, so
I-
I could.
I prefer you be dad's Valentine. I'm okay.
I always get you something though every year.
I'm okay. Although I think a lot of people they're like, oh, Jared's such a great guy. He doesn't have a Valentine. That's sad. Well, don't pity me. I really. I mean, it's a greeting card holiday. I'm fine with not having a Valentine. Like,
Well,
I'm
it's not
cool
even
with
a
that.
greeting card, you know. They go and get you candy. Get you
Well,
money.
I mean, when you trickle it down, it basically is just a greeting card holiday.
Yeah.
You know, will you be mine and be my Valentine? And it's for one day. Now, if you're with somebody, I mean, of course, it goes without saying they're going to be your Valentine. But why on just one day do you celebrate your love for each other? Should that be every day?
I agree.
Not just one day out of the year?
Yep.
Or sweetest day, which is Valentine's Day 2.0. That's what I call it. Um, I don't have a Valentine. I don't have a sweetie. That's fine. I'm cool with that. I just don't want people pitying me. Oh, Jared, you're such a great guy, and I don't need your pity. Um, I understand your sentiment, and I appreciate you thinking of me like that, and thinking that I am worthy or deserving of a partner. But really, I'm fine. I mean, I've accepted that a long time ago, that there's just no one for me out there, and that's cool. That's fine. I'm cool with that. Um, it's just, as all the kids say, it is what it is. And I have to learn how to be accepting of the fact that there is nobody. That's fine. Um, but yeah, our taxes are due on Friday, and yeah, they're quite a bit this year. Our winter taxes. I don't remember them being so high, but I understand because we are now what we have been dealing with inflation, and now that Trump is wanting to put tariffs on imported goods and on imports and exports coming from like China and Mexico and all these other countries, we're gonna feel the pinch. We're gonna feel it. A lot of people think, "Oh, this is a great idea." Well, in the long run, it's really not. Imposing tariffs, and especially on a country that we're in debt to anyway, China, and you're gonna tax them. Um, not a good idea. Not a very strategic move. We're gonna feel the pinch, regardless. I think people are who voted for Trump, I think they're starting to see the effects, because, "Oh, Trump promised this and Trump promised that." Well, that's your problem. You put too much trust into people who promise you things like presidents and people who govern the land and set the rules. You put too much faith into them, and look what they do. They fuck everybody over. I don't get involved in this shit. I don't vote. I voted once when I was 18. Biggest mistake of my life. I'll never do it again. Um, and I talked about this last week, is that, these people who run for high office, whether it be governor, president, town mayor, they don't give a fuck about you. They don't care about you. They never have, they never will. They want position of power. And I read somewhere where Trump is expected to be at the fucking Super Bowl today, and
Oh, we got it for free.
and this is going to be interesting to see if you're watching the Super Bowl, because every time Travis Kelce makes a touchdown or does something stupid on the field, the cameras are going to be pointed right at Taylor Swift, which I don't really care for her music. I don't care how popular or famous she is. I don't really like her music because every song of hers is basically about a failed relationship that she's had, and you're a 30 something writing songs about every person you've broken up with. I mean, get real. Um, but there's going to be when Trump isn't getting any attention, he's going to throw a bitch fit about it, and there's going to be some hostility. That's all that that's my prediction. Um, I I that's why when it comes to a lot of this shit that people get so uptight about, I just shut the shit off. It's like, whatever. You know, there's nothing you're gonna do to change it. So just say fuck it and move on. Go about your day. There's nothing you're gonna do to change it. Just roll with it. That's what I do. I'm not saying it's the wisest move. I'm not saying it's the most strategic way of handling things, But at the end of the day, what are you going to do? There's nothing you can do. So just go with the flow. And a lot of people are actually, they're not happy with Trump already, and he hasn't been in office not even a month, and this is his second term, but there's a lot of people who they're just not happy with him already. He promised one thing and did the opposite. Just like a politician. And now you got Elon Musk in there who's basically paying for all of his friends. He's a part of this boys club. That's what our government has turned into, a fucking boys club, which is why I no longer have faith in my government. I no longer I just don't care, you know. There's nothing I'm going to do about it. A vote is not going to change anything. It's just going to put someone else in power who's going to do an even shittier job than the person before. And then someone will have someone to blame and point fingers at when shit doesn't go the way they want it to go. And I remove myself from that. If you're going to bitch at me, you can complain at me because I don't vote. However, I'm not going to vote and make your life dramatically worse than what it is by putting in someone, by making an uneducated vote for someone, or thinking that, the biggest mistake of all, thinking that these people give a fuck about you. And they don't. I promise you, they do not give a fuck about you. They never have, they never will. People will never learn. Oh, well, Jared, Trump cares about. No, he doesn't. Just like Dr. Spock doesn't give a fuck about you. It's the same fucking thing. They don't care. It's a cult, and you're a part of it, and you don't realize you're a part of it until it's too late. I've become well aware of cults. I've been in the child of cancer demographic for quite some time. I know how people behave. They want it all for themselves. Just like last week was World Cancer Day, February 4th. Well, for me, every day is Cancer Day, although I don't necessarily put that at the forefront of my priorities, and I don't think about it the first thing I wake up. But as a survivor, yes, it is. It is the first thing that I consider. I don't think about it every day. The first thing, huh? What? The first thing I think about actually every morning is my mom, because I've been dreaming about her quite a bit. So yeah, I'm not World Cancer Day. I mean, who comes up with this shit? Like who makes those decisions? Oh, World Cancer Day is February 4th, and that, as a survivor, I can tell you that these days mean absolutely nothing to me as a survivor, because I'm already aware. Someone who's lived directly through that will always be aware, whether it be the kids or the parents of the kids. We're always going to be aware. And I saw this on Facebook just recently, where people are trying to look, as much as I don't care for football, there are too many people who are using the Super Bowl as a platform to voice out about childhood cancer. There's more children who die than there are people at the stadium, and it's like, why must everything be a platform? I understand that these are people who are just trying to be number one in everything, and they're they're in this, and that right there should be your proof. That should be all the evidence you need of what I've been saying for all these years. There's a pissing match with advocacy. People are, just nagging. They're fighting for the top position, and I'm just, sitting here thinking to myself, I'm just a child of cancer survivor. I mean, I don't know what the fuck you guys got going on, but I I don't think in those terms. Like, I'm not here to, you know, compete with anybody. I'm a child of cancer survivor. Who am I competing with? Um, Let me see if I can pull that up real quick. I'll read it to you. I mean, they use every opportunity to throw in their little advocacy when it's just a simple fucking football game. And I understand, I get it. I get it. It's an urgent thing. Um, and I don't want to knock it, but at the same time, let people enjoy their football game. They don't think about things that don't apply to them. Everybody should know that by now. Um, Let me see if I can find that meme right here. It says child of cancer is bigger than the Super Bowl. Worldwide in 2024, 100,000 children died from cancer. Seating capacity is only 83,000. The only thing rare about childhood cancer is adequate funding for curative research. Um, it, you know, I understand your need to put childhood cancer on the map, but it's a football game. Can we at least let people enjoy a simple football game without constantly thinking about something sad? Give it. Just give these people a break. Let them enjoy their football game. Um, it's it's a it's it's a very slippery slope, and I don't think it's fair, to people who aren't thinking about that. They don't want to associate something sad with something that they enjoy. Just let them enjoy their football game. We'll talk about that another day about the worldwide you know, and it's sad. I'm not taking away from that, but at the same time, just let these people enjoy their fucking football game. Why must everything be a platform for something sad? Don't spoil it for people who are just wanting to watch their team win. Um, we've got all year. We have the rest of the year to talk about childhood cancer. Just because you don't watch football doesn't mean that other people can't enjoy it. I don't really care for football, but it doesn't mean that other people don't have a right to enjoy it. Um, that's all I'm saying. Now, if I put this on Facebook, I know some people would be pissed. Well, Jared, it's just shocking coming from someone who's a survivor. Yes, I'm a survivor, but at the same time, let these people enjoy their football game. Why must every big event be used as a platform for something sad? Yes, it is sad. It's very sad, but what are you going to do? Don't make people depressed when they're trying to watch something that takes them out of a depression. That's why they watch football, to escape reality for a few hours so they can watch their favorite team win or try to win, you know? Um yeah, why does everything have to be spoiled, you know? Not every platform out there should be an issue for raising awareness. Let people enjoy their fun. Let people enjoy their thing. We've got all year to talk about childhood cancer. You know, and I know that this might be difficult for some people to hear because, oh, Jared, you're a childhood cancer survivor. I can't believe you're saying this. You should be the first one to stand up and say something. No, no, let people enjoy what they enjoy. Yeah, and it's not even that. It's just why is it that at every big major event, someone out there has to make it an issue? They turn it into a platform for an issue that no one can do anything about. They do this shit all the time, and it's because they're competing for top. spot in the advocacy throne. That's why all these advocates do what they do. They just want to be number one. Well, so far you're batting 1,000 as being the number one annoyance to people who just want to enjoy a football game. You know, leave people to their fun and their interests. And it's like I used to love watching WWE wrestling. I used to love watching Raw and SmackDown. I love WCW because back then they didn't go mainstream. They did, oh, we're raising awareness to all these causes, and no, you're here to wrestle. You are here to wrestle. You are here to entertain. Nowadays, WWE, oh, we've teamed up with Susan G. Komen for the Cure and Connor the Crusher, and we're raising awareness. You know what? It's wrestling. Why can't you guys just stay in your lane, as they say, mind your fucking business, let people who are in this get through this? Why must everything be an issue a platform for issues? WWE went mainstream a long time ago. That's why they've watered down, and they don't even they don't when someone gets hit in the head with a fucking chair, I would imagine that it would knock them out. Like, stay down. No, they get right back up as if nothing happened. Or they kind of roll around like, oh, no, if someone hits me in the head with a fucking chair, I'm out cold. That would knock me silly. But again, it's fake. These people are professionals. They know how to hit, they know where to hit. And, you know, the impact is real, but they know where to hit. They know how to hit. I mean, not long ago, John Cena, during Raw, back when Raw was on TV for 3 hours, and now they're on Netflix and they're only like 2 hours. But years ago, John Cena used to do a PSA, leave it to the professionals, please don't try this at home. Well, my generation knew that. I mean, yeah, we imitated wrestling. We used to, not really, drop kick or suplex, although my cousin Timmy would suplex his brother Matthew quite a bit. But it was on a bed, like a bed where we bounced and it was soft and nobody was getting hurt. We wouldn't have our shoes on. We'd take our shoes off, and it was fun, loads of fun, roughhousing, because that's what boys do. But we knew, we had the mind to know that the stuff you see on TV should not be emulated in real life, because those are professionals getting paid lots of money to put on a show. And we imitated what we saw. And there were times when we would get hurt. Like my cousin Matthew, I remember when they lived out on Fenmore Road out by Marion Springs, and my cousin Timmy had a piece of I want to say it was like it wasn't plywood, it was like paneling or something, and he threw it in the air, and when it spun back around, it caught my cousin Matthew in the eyebrow, just above the eye. He's lucky he didn't take his eye out. And it cut his eyebrow open, like it cut him open, and I think he had to be taken to Med Express for that. But that's what, I mean, he shouldn't have did it, but we were kids, and kids do some crazy shit. We imitate what we see. But now when they're putting disclaimers on things that my generation already knew years ago, when John Cena's getting on there saying, please don't try this at home, fuck. What are the parents not teaching their kids that now they have to put this shit on TV? I don't get it. It's almost like when, I grew up watching, Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner, Tom and Jerry, um, Yosemite Sam and Bugs Bunny and the Tasmanian Devil, and I grew up watching all those cartoons. They never had disclaimers saying, "This is not real." We knew it wasn't real. It's a fucking cartoon. Cartoons aren't real. I have never seen a bunny rabbit stand up and pull a pair of glasses out of his pocket and say, "Yeah, what's up, doc?" I've never seen a bunny rabbit walk like erect like a human being and nibble on a fucking carrot. Of course it's not real. We know that. You kind of know that when you watch the fucking program. Wrestling, yeah, it's real people, but they are trained to know where and how to hit their opponent. They are trained professionals. But I'm kind of getting sidetracked. Um, what was I even talking about? Oh yeah, using a platform to everything has to be an issue, you know. Everything has to be an awareness platform for things that you can do nothing about. And my heart breaks for the parents who lost their children to childhood cancer. I can't express that enough, but there's only so much I can say before I say enough, and then it's like there's nothing I can do. Um, and sometimes words aren't needed. You just show your love and support for the people who are affected, and that's what I do. But you have to let people enjoy what they enjoy. Um, it's like putting it's like if I were to drink a bottle of Bush Light and they put a bunch of ribbons on the bottle. I don't I mean, you don't have to do that. Like I'm aware. Ribbons are symbols, they're not people. So I'm well aware of you're raising awareness. I'm aware. I think the world is aware now. I think we've done our job. But a lot of people would disagree because they like to stay perpetually angry, fake rage. So then, they can make themselves look pretty and they can, remain relevant. And I know there's going to be a lot of people who they're going to be pissed when they listen to this and think, "Oh my God, this is Jared's real feelings." Yeah, it's my real feelings. They have been my real feelings for years. I mean, you're just now noticing. You're just now listening. Um, it's like the other day. I'm not going to name names, but one of my dearest friends, and I promise you, I love her to pieces. Her daughter passed away from cancer, and she says Jesus was using my daughter to be glorified. And because we were talking a messenger, and when I read that, mm, I didn't know whether to laugh or cry because what kind of a narcissistic, egotistical prick would use a child to be glorified? I'm not religious. For those of you who are new, I'm actually an atheist. I want to know what kind of deranged thinking. I mean, why in your? I mean, obviously it's not your right mind, but why in fuck would you ever think that is appropriate? Well, the Lord, which by the way, you can't demonstrate that the Lord is real or that God or your Jesus is real because only he would know what it would take to convince me. And I've been waiting. But for her to say, well, Jesus was using her daughter to show him his glory. And it's like, oh my God, it's horrible. It's horrible. It is a horrible way to grieve. Religion is poison to the mind. It doesn't allow for people to grieve in the way that they should appropriately. They think that their loved ones are going off. Somehow we're surviving our own physical death, and somehow a part of us is going to this abstract dimension. Death is permanent. Death is forever. We're not going anywhere. We're fucking going to be dead. We're not going anywhere. No one goes anywhere. Well, Jared, you're claiming that, so now you have to show evidence that they're not going anywhere. The lack of evidence, I think, is the evidence. They're not really going. How do you know that? As an atheist, I'm saying I'm not convinced, but as a Christian, you're saying I know, or those are my feelings. Well, if you know it, demonstrate it. But if those are just your feelings, I'm not interested. As an atheist, I'm saying, look, I'm not convinced of that. I'm a non-believer. I don't believe that there's some sky wizard who gives a fuck about you in the slightest, because, as described in the Bible, if, Jesus or God is all powerful, all wise, all knowing, all loving, all caring, all this, all that, he's got a funny fucking way of showing it. And furthermore, if you claim that God created the heavens and the earth, this is the best he could do. He's all powerful, all wise, all knowing, and this is the best he could come up with. And children are dying from cancer. Doesn't your God give a fuck about that? None of it makes sense. So, and I'm going in all different directions this week because I have really nothing else to talk about. I didn't want to put her name up on public blast because I love her dearly, and I don't agree with her way of thinking, but I'm not going to tell her, I'm not going to give her a lecture. Now, if she comes to me and asks me, why don't you believe? I'm going to lay it out. I don't believe, I'm not convinced that there is an invisible, an invisible invisible man living in the sky who cares about us. I don't believe that. I'm not convinced. I'm not saying there is no God. I'm saying I'm not convinced of the God that you describe. And how narcissistic and egotistical of a God to use your child to be glorified. What an asshole. If that's what your God does, if that's what you think your God does, then your God is the biggest egotistical slime bag ever. Because if I was God, I wouldn't be using children to be glorified. If I was God, there wouldn't be worldwide hunger. There wouldn't be natural disasters. There wouldn't be cancer for sure. There would be no pestilence, no hunger, no homelessness, no drugs to get high on. Well, maybe with the exception of marijuana, although marijuana is really not considered a drug anymore. I would leave the marijuana for, but even then, there wouldn't be pain where you would need marijuana if I was a God. So,
yeah, my comment on that is the fact that you and Dad are both atheists.
yeah.
But I'm Christian.
Uh-huh.
But yes, there are things that I disagree that I have done and God has not came through.
And I would ask you either, so my position on that, because I've always heard, well, in God's time. Why God's time? Why not our time?
Or like my son said, when God's ready, he'll find me somebody that is meant for me.
Well, why does it have to be when God's ready? It should be when we're fucking ready.
Yeah.
It's our life. I cannot. When we lived out on, where were we living? We were living in Merrill back in 90. Oh God, I want to say 96, 97. We went to a church out in Wheeler. It was my mom, my dad, Uncle Tim, Aunt Rhonda, all of us kids, and Brian Bartru. We used to go to this church out in Wheeler, or Wheeler Breckenridge. It's right on 46.
We pass it
Yeah.
all the time when we go to Elma.
We used to go there all the time.
I remember because Dad comes out. There's a church we
Yeah.
used to go to.
I remember being, I would say, 11 or 12 years old and sitting outside, waiting outside in the car, or just standing in the parking lot, waiting for them to get done, and having a clergy member come out and say to me, why don't you come inside and join us, in the sanctuary? We can't have you hanging around out here. Why? It's a church. Why can't I hang around out here? You push people away?
Well, have a pastor come out and tell you because you call and say, hey, I have no clean clothes to come into church today. Oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
You can still come.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gross. But the point I was trying to make about that was, I think then I had my suspicions about religion. I think I started to process. It's like, because I know the truth about Santa Claus. Like, reindeer don't fucking fly. What's this about? And I started to turn on religion. Now, when I was 26, I really started to question everything when Dad attempted suicide. And he said that he saw a light, which if you're dead, you don't see anything. If you're dead, you're not going to have a conscience to see if you're dead because you're dead. That's when I really started to question things. And now that I'm going to be 39, I can say with confidence, I'm an atheist because none of the shit that even the Bible describes makes any fucking sense. None of it. The Genesis account, nowhere near scientific explanation. Nowhere near it.
Now, with me, I don't understand the Jehovah or the regular Bible.
Yeah.
But you give me a Jehovah.
Yeah.
I can read it and I can understand it.
And it's dead language. No one talks like that anymore. With the ETH on the end of the words. Cometh, goeth.
Yeah.
No one talks like that. What the fuck? It's Hebrew, but yeah, it's Hebrew. No one talks like that. It's a dead language. Nobody speaks like that. And on the first day, God said, "Let there be light." That's not how the world started. Sorry, that's not how things began. There's a scientific explanation for it.
Wasn't it? I got his name right on the tip of my tongue too. Alfred Hitchcock or something like that. No, the invention of the light bulb.
That's not Alfred Hitchcock.
No.
Alfred Hitchcock was a filmmaker.
I'm trying to think, but I can't think of
Albert Einstein.
Yes.
Alfred Hitchcock? I'm sure he would be thrilled to invent
He tied the key. I remember it today.
Yeah.
Like it was yesterday. He tied the key to a string.
Yeah.
Flew it during a storm and the lightning hit the key.
Yeah.
If so, he would have been dead.
Yeah.
Nowadays.
Alfred Hitchcock, okay. The Birds. Alfred Hitchcock was a filmmaker. He didn't invent electricity. That would be interesting though if he did. Hey, Toenail, did you know that Alfred Hitchcock invented electricity? According to Amy. Oh, I'm gonna fuck with her big time with that one now. On the song Elvira by the Oak Ridge Boys. Bumpa mile mile high ho silver away. Amy sings it Long John Silver away. Oh. Oh. It's funny. It's funny. It's just hilarious. It's like one of my friends said that the Beatles were the most overrated group of all time. Um, I beg to differ in the sense that the Beatles revolutionized music. There were groups coming out, they were experimenting and they were, the Beatles were writing songs for other people. Lennon and McCartney were the songwriting group of the Beatles, and they were writing songs for other people. Like "I Want to Be Your Man," that Ringo Starr took lead vocal on that. They gave it to the Rolling Stones actually, but it was written. It's got the Lennon McCartney credit. I think Ringo wrote that. I think. Let me look that up real quick. I wanna be your man. Okay, who wrote that song? I wanna be your lover, baby. I wanna be your man. Let's see. Who wrote the song I Wanna Be Your Man? Yeah, Lennon McCartney. It's credited as Lennon McCartney. And they gave it to the Stones. I Wanna Be Your Man appeared on the 1963 album with the Beatles. And by the way, speaking of the Beatles, the reason why that conversation came up, one of my friends said that the Beatles were the most overrated group of all time. I disagree. Because last week, actually on Saturday, or no, Friday the 7th, it was 61 years since the Beatles landed in New York City from Liverpool, England. They made their debut here in America, and they took the world by storm because Paul McCartney. I was watching an interview, and he said, "I told John Lennon," he says, "We don't go to America. We don't go to America until we get a hit record." And the Beatles sold the most hit records, number one records. They made music history. And my friend can say that the Beatles are the most overrated group of all time. He can say it all he wants. I love you, brother, but you're just wrong. The Beatles are not overrated. Um, they revolutionized music. They were doing things that no other band would even dare do, or they didn't know they could do it. And then the Beatles came along and said, "Hey, you can do this, you can write about that, you can do this, you can do that." They experimented and other people followed that. So the Beatles influenced a lot. They pretty much blew the walls off. They opened doors, they blew the walls off, and they showed other people, yes, this is possible. You can do this way. And the song I Feel Fine by the Beatles, it was the first song in music history where there was feedback from the guitar included in the song. So when you listen to I Feel Fine, it goes boom. That's the feedback from the guitar. No one's ever heard that kind of, no one in the history of music before the Beatles has ever had feedback like that in a song on a guitar. That they did so many different things. I mean, they I guess you could say they invented MTV because the Beatles they did music videos. They would sing and you would see them perform in the video. There'd be different camera angles, and like in the with the song Penny Lane, they're riding horses. John Lennon's walking down the street, and then it cuts to them riding horses. And the Beatles are not overrated. They were groundbreaking guys. They did it all. And on that note, it is 4 o'clock. My name is Jared Fo. That hour goes by quickly. I love you all very much. I will be back again next week, which I believe is the 16th. Yes, the 16th, because Friday is Valentine's Day, the 14th. If Dad was here, he would say Take care of your neighbors. Be good to one another. Amy says, peace out. Stay warm. And I will do the same. I will echo what they would say. Of course, Amy's here. She could have said it herself, but we got to go. So I love y'all very much. I'll see you next week on the 16th of February. Bye-bye. Take care.